With the Trump administration's focus on removing financial waste from the federal budget, more folks are talking about repealing the federal income tax and abolishing the IRS altogether. So what does that mean for the American taxpayers and for our economy? Well, here to discuss the possibilities, of course, we've got Colin Evans at the Evans Financial Group. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us again.
I think everybody kind of perked up at the thought of no more income tax, but let's talk about what that would mean and what the IRS going away would mean.
Wouldn't it just be phenomenal? I think it would be. Now that being said, you know, this is kind of just being thrown out there, so there is a little bit on the hopeful side of things, and maybe, you know, we've been paying out the wazoo for, you know, our products going elsewhere into other countries for hosting them, and so this is where the tariff thing is coming into play, because we are actually paying more than what we are charging those that are being sold in our country. The downside of this is I have to tell, like, my daughter, who's just turned 15, I'm going to be a little bit sorry, just in case these go up and tariffs go up, your Sheen stuff is going to probably get a little bit pricier.
Mm-hmm. You're not going to get those pants for $2.25.
Yeah, those $2 pants might now become $10 pants. Now, is the IRS going away? This one's going to be, you know, kind of an unknown. One can hope. You know, that I could add that into my prayers, you know, nightly. You know, will the IRS go away? But the flip side of that is, how are they going to get funds? Mm-hmm. And, you know, one of those, of course, being tariffs. Other idea that has come across is not, you know, we're eliminating the income tax, but they're looking at doing something like a flat tax on sales tax. That might be a collective. There's some pros and cons with it, and you know, one of the things that we get to see in our business is, you know, the downside of taxes is it's tiered. So it's kind of, I would say it's a little bit biased to, you know, the higher income earners. And what a lot of people don't know when we hear the words, you know, oh, tax the rich need to pay more. Well, what a lot of people don't understand is the top 10% of income earners pay approximately 89% of the country's taxes. So the high income earners are paying their fair share in our opinion. So that being said, you know, this is an unknown. And it really is. It's just a gigantic one. And one of the big things that we really want people to understand with these unknowns is, I was reminded over the weekend, I watched the movie Armageddon. Mm-hmm. And, you know, there's asteroids heading towards Earth. Well, Steve Buscemi, who's one of the characters in that, one of the goofy ones, well, as they're coming back and they're realizing they're going to survive, you know, after saving the Earth, well, he took out a gigantic loan before going up into space. And he's like, you guys are all excited. I have a loan shark that I have to pay.
Gonna have to pay
because he did something really drastic. You know, in the sense of one of the things we're telling people, don't do anything drastic right now. We don't even know. This is, you know, this is just talk. You know, and by all means, please do not take advice on Facebook. This is not
Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. It's really tempting to lean into those reels that you see because you say, oh, well, I saw somebody that said that. Look, I don't know anything about the numbers. That's why I go to the experts. The experts, you guys know what you're doing.
Absolutely. You know, and that's the biggest thing we can stress. One, don't do anything drastic. And by all means, if this is a, you know, high concern, call your financial professional, call your tax professional. You know, let's talk to somebody that's got, you know, really boots on the ground, that's really familiar intimately with the subject, that can advise you correctly.
So some really good information there. So thank you for joining us and kind of easing our concerns there and telling us not to do anything too crazy.
Don't do anything just yet. Everything's still in the early stages, so.
We'll check back in next week. Things could change. Well, Colin, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.